Good afternoon and welcome to Metro's public meeting for our fare restructuring proposal. My name is Dave and I work for Metro, and I will be your moderator today for this meeting. Before we get started, I'd like to go over a couple of housekeeping items. We're trying to do as many of these presentations within the 2-hour period as we can. So in respect out of everyone's time and to make sure that we can get through everything, we ask that you please hold any questions that you have until the end of the presentation and that you restrict your questions just to the subject that we're talking about, our proposed fare restructuring. If you have questions or comments about any other aspect of your Metro service, please give us your name and contact information and we'll get back to you. Also, you can enter your questions in the chat feature of this Zoom webinar, and that way at the end of the presentation, we can go through and answer them. I want to start out by saying that the presentation that you're about to see is a proposal only. None of this has been decided. If it is approved, it will be effective July 16th, 2025. Before we approve it, we want to collect feedback from the community. So please, we urge you to complete an online comment form at go-metro.com/input or send us an email at routecomments@go-metro.com. All feedback that we receive by midnight on April 25th will be considered in the final decision-making report that we send to the Metro board. That means that you have the rest of the day, all day tomorrow, all weekend, and all next week to get us your comments. Before we actually get into the presentation about the proposals, I'd like to just go over a few of the major service improvements that we've made over the last couple of years. Since 2021, we have implemented 24-hour service on 7 routes. That's a great benefit to people who work late shifts or who also want to use Metro to get to games or out on the night on the town or places other than to and from work. We also launched 7 new crosstown routes so that you no longer have to always come downtown to transfer. We expanded and improved our weekend service, adding Sunday service to routes that never had it before. We increased our frequency and span across most routes for faster service. That means buses start earlier and run later and run more frequently with less time between. We also launched 2 Metro Now on-demand service zones, and we're getting ready to launch a 3rd zone in Pleasant Run Forest Park in June. We added free Wi-Fi and charging ports to our buses to make riding even more productive. We've installed 190 new benches and 40 shelters throughout our service area, with more on the way. We awarded more than $317 million to 104 county infrastructure projects to improve roads, streets, and sidewalks in Metro's service area. We've started the design process for Metro Rapid, our transformative bus rapid transit service that will launch on Hamilton Avenue and Reading Road later in 28. And we've got many more improvements still to come. Which leads us to today's presentation and the reasons that we're proposing to restructure our fares. The number one reason is part of the Reinventing Metro process has always been to have regular, modest fare updates that will allow us to fund our continuing Reinventing Metro service and keep pace with all the improvements that we intend to make in the coming years. I want to point out that this would only be the 3rd fare update that Metro has had in the past 20 years. We also want to further simplify our fare payment for our customers by matching the fare that's paid to the type of service, either express or local. We also need to keep pace with inflation and the increasing cost of doing business. As I'm sure you're all aware in your own personal lives, the cost of everything has gone up, and that is certainly the case at Metro. And finally, we take this opportunity to launch a very innovative new program called Ride and Save that will ensure our frequent riders pay the lowest fare whenever they ride the bus. So let's get into what the proposals would entail. As I mentioned, the Metro routes will be categorized by their service type, not dependent on how far they go or where they travel. So any service that travels on a local street will be called local service, and services that travel on expressways will be called express service. The proposed fare for local service will be $2.20 or $1.10 for the half fare. Routes with an X or express service will have a proposed fare of $3 or $1.50 half fare. That half fare is available to customers who use the Fair Deal or MVP programs. The Fair Deal program is a special discount program that is offered to customers who are 65 and older, on Medicare, or who have a disability that qualifies them for a fair deal. The MVP card is for veterans and active military. The Fair Deal and MVP riders may also purchase a monthly sticker that's good for unlimited rides on any Metro service, and the proposed cost of that will be $44. Our access fare, which is our service for people with disabilities who cannot ride Metro, will have a proposed one ride fare of $4.40, or you can purchase a ticket book of 10 tickets for $44. The Metro Now one ride fare is proposed to be $2.50, and our 30-day rolling passes will have a proposed cost of $88 for local service, $120 for express service, or $105 for Metro and Tank local service, which is good on both systems as a way to encourage regional travel. We offer a wide variety of ways to pay your fare. You can buy a physical pass. Those are available from our sales office, at ticket vending machines, and online through our website. Of course, you can always pay cash. Cash is a little challenging because our fare boxes will only accept exact change. So it does require you to have exact change when you ride. That's why it's so much more convenient to pay through our Easy Fare, Transit with Easy Fare app. And also, app users will be able to access a new program called Ride and Save that guarantees your lowest fare automatically. If you are not an app user, you'll be able to access the Ride and Save program by purchasing a reloadable smart card at Metro's sales office for an initial $5 fee, which can then be loaded with cash at either the sales offices or participating local retailers. You can find a full list of those retail locations on our website. So how does Ride and Save work? Well, instead of buying a pass in advance, a rider can preload value onto the transit app with EasyFare or onto that reloadable smart card. Every time they ride, they either scan their phone or tap their smart card, and the fare is automatically deducted from that value account. Ride and Save will guarantee that a rider only pays the lowest fare over a 24-hour or 30-day period. So, for example, if you ride twice in a 24-hour period and then a third time, that third ride and any other rides within that 24-hour period will be free because the app will reward you with a day pass as soon as you pay for two fares, which is the equivalent of a day pass. It works the same way for a 30-day pass. Once you've taken 40 rides within that 30-day period, you will receive a 30-day pass in your app or on your smart card, which will allow you to continue to ride free for the remainder of that 30-day period. The fares are automatically tracked every time you tap your phone or your smart card, so you don't really even have to do anything to keep track of it. I will mention that if you do purchase the smart card, we suggest that you register it on our website for a couple of reasons. One, it does allow you to see how much money you have left, and you can reload it on the website as well. But perhaps most important, if you lose your card or it is stolen, it allows us to turn it off so that you can protect any remaining value that is on it when you lost it or it was stolen. You just scan or tap your card every time you ride, and the system will do the rest. Once you reach the end of that 24-hour or 30-day period, it will start charging you your fare again until you cap to the next period, either 24 hours or 30 days. For this reason, we will no longer sell one-ride tickets, day passes, and 30-day passes in the app. You'll still be able to buy those passes at the sales office and at our ticket vending machines, and you'll still be able to buy day passes on the bus. If you buy a day pass on the bus, we urge you to please remember to tell the operator before you put any money in the fare box so that he or she can issue you a day pass when you do pay. Now, we also have a program that's available to our app users right now. It's called Rider Rewards. And basically, it works like a rewards program that you might already be familiar with a retailer or grocery store or restaurant. 3 times a week when you ride the bus and tap your phone, you'll get 75 points for each of those 3 rides. Those points accumulate, and when you get enough, you can redeem them for free Metro passes or gift cards from local retailers. So when you put it together, the Rider Rewards program and the proposed Ride and Save program together can actually save our customers a lot of money. The more they ride, the more they earn, both in rewards or in free rides through the fare capping program under Ride and Save. Now, we've been doing a lot of outreach for this so that we can make sure we collect as much information and input as we can from the public. We already had a in-person meeting yesterday. We had a virtual meeting earlier today. And as you know, you're in the virtual meeting right now that we're holding, and we'll be here until 6 p.m. As I stated earlier, your feedback is important, and we want to make sure we collect as much as we can. This proposal is only a proposal. It is not effective until it's approved. If it is approved, it will become effective this July 16th. We urge you to complete an online comment form at go-metro.com/input, or you can send us an email at routecomments@go-metro.com. All of the feedback that we receive by midnight on April 25th will be considered in the final report that we submit to the Metro Board. That means that you have the rest of today, all day tomorrow, all weekend, and all next week to get your comments in. So please do that. If it's easier, you can scan this QR code right now and fill out the online comment form while we're taking questions.